All aboard! The hype train is departing from the station. What's up, gamers? It's Koobs here. The Lies of P demo is now live. Just dropped on June 8th. You can play it on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It's an awesome demo. Really great way to check out the game before making any sort of commitment to it. They just announced that the release date is going to be September 19th. I spent about 3 hours with the demo this afternoon, and it's like, wow, lots of content. I'm going to keep this relatively spoiler-free as I can. I'm not going to show off any of the named bosses that they let you go up against. There's 3 named bosses, if I'm remembering correctly, and then like a handful of what I would consider mini bosses that, like, once you eliminate them, they don't respawn like many of the other typical common enemies do. So we begin by selecting a combat style, or basically our starting class. There's 3 options. There's a balanced build, a dexterity focused build, and a strength based build. I went with the strength option myself, but don't get too worried about your first initial choice. The weapons that you don't choose at the very beginning can be picked up from a vendor once you get past like the beginning tutorial section. Again, it's quite lengthy demo, which I thought was really great. There's some really nice accessibility features in the main menu. You can turn off things like camera shake and motion blur. You can disable the blood effect, and then you can also fully customize the control scheme. The healing items are known as pulse cells, and there's also like a kind of like a backstab mechanic. Not so much a backstab as it is like a critical combo on enemies that don't realize that you're there. So here we're going to take a look at the first mini boss. This is, again, very early on in the demo. And one of the mechanics that I liked is that once you've used your last healing item, your last pulse cell, you start to build charge to replenish. And so it kind of rewards you for being a little bit more aggressive. If you run out of healing items, then you can just start attacking and doing damage to start building up towards another one, which sometimes that might make a difference to getting you through group of tough enemies or through a boss fight, whatever it might be. So I thought that was really great. And then once you stagger the enemy, what's known as putting them in the groggy state, you can do, again, like a critical combo and finish them off or do a lot of damage. The bonfires or sites of grace are known as stargazers. So you can use the stargazer to access your storage, and then you can also use it to travel around. In the very beginning, you can use the first stargazer to level up, but there's actually a character at like the main central hub of this game that you'll go to do your leveling up. So some people might not really love that mechanic that you have to travel to a specific place in order to do your leveling up and spending of your currency, which is known as ergo. But personally, I didn't find it too tedious traveling to the hub area. So we have our different attributes here at the level up screen. So vitality is for our health, vigor is for our stamina, capacity is going to manage our equipment load, as well as a function known as legion, which I think is tied to like our special abilities on our weapons. We have motivity, which I think is strength focused, technique, which is dexterity focused, and then the last attribute is called advance, and I believe it governs your resistances, and there's probably something else that's tied to that stat as well. One of the mechanics that I did like is that if you die during a boss fight, then they will leave your ergo outside of the boss room rather than inside of the boss room, so you can go back and pick it up and then go spend that currency to level up or to pick up consumables or whatever it might be. Each of the weapons is broken into 2 parts. So we have our blade or our shaft, as well as our hilt or the handle, and eventually you can assemble the weapons as you see fit, so you can mix and match. So you can see here that I have the same blade on each of these weapons, but I have a different handle, and that gives me access to a different moveset. I thought that was really cool because it allows you to add this extra layer of customization to your weapons, and then you level up the blade or the shaft of the weapon, and then I think you can also modify the hilt eventually as well. There's a blocking mechanic, and so if you block damage, then it gives you an opportunity to regain that health by doing damage to the attacking enemy, which I thought was really great. And then there's also a perfect block mechanic. So if you time your block perfectly, then you don't take any damage at all. So that's going to reward a very skillful playstyle. There are some fashion options that they show off in this demo, and I really like that the fashion isn't tied to any of your resistances or any of your stat scores or anything like that. It's purely just for your character's appearance, which I thought was really great. So yeah, wanted to keep this short and sweet, spoiler-free as far as I could. Check this one out. It's an awesome demo to sink your teeth into if you're looking for something to play. Get a feel for the game before it releases. Again, this is coming out September 19th. I'm on the hype train. I'll be excited for this one. I have been and always will be Kubz. Peace and love, gamers.